Mother, why? Why didn't we play outside like other kids did? Wait, why do I remember living in a refugee camp? Why, whenever we went outside, people pointed at us and said mean things? Questions began spinning around my head like a car wheel. Sophie, come. Come sit right next to me, and I explain you the story. My mother said to me. My mother began explaining me the story from the roots. My mother, my father, and my big brother ran away from Angola because of the civil war that was occurring. My father came to Russia first, and then my mother and my big brother followed after. Mom, but that still didn't answer my question. Sophia, wait, I will get there. After a couple years, I was born. Then a few years later, my little brother was born. Life was not easy in Russia, especially for colored people. My father got into drugs. He got arrested and went to jail. Since 2001 until today, our faces have never met. My family split up. My big brother went to go live with my pastor. My mother and my little brother went to go live with a couple that just got married, and I went to go live with a church member. With no notice, with no warning, we had to leave the house. Sometimes I remember only seeing my mother on Sundays. I remember sitting by the window waiting for my mother to come visit. It was hard for a 7-year-old little girl to not see her mother every day. But the time came where we all lived together again. But this time, we lived in a refugee camp. The camp, we had a dining center where we went and ate. In the room we lived in, there was a living room and a bedroom. Actually, it was one room. So basically, in the morning, it's a living room, and at night, it's a bedroom. Then there was a kitchen. Actually, a stove in that room and a refrigerator. And there was a bathroom right next to it. It didn't matter what condition we were in. As long as my family and I lived together, that's all that mattered to me. But separation struck again. The refugee directors said that they had to rebuild the refugee camp. A mother and 3 kids had no place to go. This time, my brother went again to live with my pastor. My mother, my little brother, and I went to go live with the church members. Mom, how come this time I went with you? Sophia, nobody was willing to take you to school. Oh, school. Where some kids run to whenever they have problems at home. But in my case, it was different. Actually, I didn't have much of struggle. My big brother, my yaya, he was abused. Whenever he went to school, he was beaten because of the color of his skin. He was sometimes kicked out of school because of the color of his skin. No matter how many times my mother went to the school to complain, nothing changed. But that didn't hit me. It didn't hit me until I was 12, asking my mother these questions, sitting right next to her, asking her, why, Mama? It didn't hit me the day that I remember my church members coming out of the church, singing, dancing, until a child asked us, why don't you guys go back to Africa? It did not hit me the day that my uncle and I went to a store, and there was a white man right outside waiting to fight my uncle for no reason. A woman approached my uncle and asked, why does that man want to fight you? He said, I don't know. I could see the fear in his eyes, but he didn't want to show it because I was there. The lady said, I'll help you. She took me and she wrapped me around her coat and told my uncle, go forward and I'll distract the man. We made it safely to the subway because of that lady. It still did not hit me even after my mother and I went to go visit our church member. And my mother said, I'm feeling like something is wrong. We have to go back home. And she was right. When we went home, a black man was killed no more than 3 feet from my apartment. The man was killed at 7 p.m. It did not get picked up until 11 p.m. I never realized I was born in a world where I was hated because of something that I could not change, nor did I have the choice to be born that way. But I bet you're asking yourself this question. How did you get here? Well, in 2004, a Red Cross program came to Russia. They interviewed my family. So basically, it was a long process. But at the end of the process, you were either denied or accepted. The day came. My big brother, my little brother, and I were in a room. We were all playing. For some reason, I remember my little brother was on the floor pounding. We probably fought for a toy or book, something like that. And then I remember my mother stood in a line right in front of the booth. In the booth, there was a lady that was either going to tell you if you're accepted or denied. The lady right in front of my mom was denied. My mother stepped up with the translator right beside her. Congratulations. My mother did not even let the lady finish. The minute she heard congratulations, she ran. She ran into the room where we were. She picked Jojo up. She hugged all of us tightly and began to cry. Her tears was like a champion that has been crying for many years, but finally won. On May 31st, 2005, my feet stepped into the land of promise, the land of opportunity, United States of America. When we came to United States of America, my mother started working as a housekeeping in University of North Carolina. Whenever she saw families bringing their children to college, she kept on telling herself, one day I'll bring my kids to college. And that dream came true. In 2015, my mother brought me to Thomas College. So I no longer say, why, Mama? But I say, hey, Mom, I'm graduating high school with honors. Hey, Mother, I got accepted to all the colleges that I applied to. Mom, I am going to Thomas College. Hey, Mom, I made it to the news. Front page newspaper, Mother. The minute I started believing on myself, no longer seeing myself as a minority, the minute I stopped looking at my past as obstacles and started seeing them as stairs of motivation to get to where I want to be, I started shining. Mom, on May 12th, 2018, I'll be walking that stage, graduated with a bachelor's degree in 3 years. I no longer say, why, Mama? But I say, yes, I can, Mother. Thank you.